There's been a lot of buzz about wide tires lately, but are they actually faster? Are they a game changer or is it overkill? Now, I've attempted to ride 2-inch tires on a gravel bike in the past and it kind of worked, but it was clear that the bike wasn't designed to handle such large tires. But what if we start building bikes around these tires? See, the new Allied Able is designed around 29 by 2.25 inch or 700 by 57 millimeter tires, and I've got my hands on it in hopes of putting it through its paces and answering these questions. Is wider really faster? And are there other intangibles that come along with it, both positive and negative? And is this the direction that the gravel bike world is headed? And is it the direction that it should go in? Let's find out. The new Able clearly and unapologetically blurs the lines between a gravel bike and a mountain bike. And if you're looking for the too long didn't read version of this, well, this bike has me braking later, cornering faster, and I don't find myself saying, gosh, I wish I were just on a mountain bike in the more technical sections. With clearance like this, the new Able joins the likes of the Laufsiegler and the Rodeo Labs Trail Donkey. And at the moment, that's a very small group in this extreme end of the gravel bike spectrum, which is kind of an exciting place to be. For many, the original Able was their introduction to the brand, putting Allied on the map and creating a really loyal following. That original Able was ahead of its time, and the new Able hopes to carry on that legacy. Looking at it on the drive side, the chainstays are, yet again, a unique and identifiable trait of the Able. This time they have a dramatic drop and then a rise up to the bottom bracket. Now, what you won't see are cables running out of the Allied logo that's on the down tube. Everything is now internally routed through Allied's STO3 stem, which has been designed in such a way that the stem angle can be adjusted and stems swapped without having to rerun cables. I think that's a feature that should be standard on most modern bikes. The stem is also painted to match the frame, which the color in this case is called Lunar Rock, and I think it looks pretty sharp. Walking to the front of the bike, you'll notice that the front end is super clean, and then you get a real sense of just how they've managed to fit such massive tires on this bike. We go from a relatively narrow head tube to a dramatically flared fork to accommodate such large tires. And it looks aggressive. I mean, very aggressive. There's no denying that. Allied doesn't recommend a smaller tire than a 45 millimeter for handling and safety purposes. And aesthetically, a 45 millimeter tire would look like it's swimming inside of this fork. It's clear that the new Able has been designed to meet the demands of modern gravel racing and riding, which is no tall order when you consider that most gravel routes have both mellow and fast sections paired with technical sections where your eyeballs basically feel like they're gonna fall out of your head. That's a difficult needle to thread. You need something that's a joy to ride in the mellow sections, stable in the fast sections, and forgiving in the chunky sections. Oh, and it has to be able to climb. This can't be a slog uphill. For this, in addition to the Allied team, they've worked closely with Payson McKelvin to dial in the Able. In fact, if you follow Payson on Instagram, you've seen him riding bikes labeled Mule with various numbers for the last several months. And as someone who geeks out on this kind of stuff, those sneak peeks are really cool. I mean, rarely do we, as consumers, get to see the different phases of testing a new frame. And no, this video isn't sponsored by Allied, but it is supported by Hola Adios, the creative agency that I work closely with. They help make this channel and videos like this possible. If you run a small business, maybe you're a bike shop owner, a lawyer, or hey, even a dentist, and you need a new website or help launching your brand, shoot me an email, chris@holaadios.com. We'll take a look, and if it's a good fit, we'll make something great together. Now, back to the Able because, yeah, if you haven't figured it out yet, this bike rips. Now, for the do-it-all bike fans, the Able picks up where your do-it-all bike leaves off. This isn't the bike you take everywhere, the one that blurs the lines between road and gravel. Nope, this is your dedicated gravel bike, unapologetically designed to handle the roughest gravel you can throw at it. It's purpose-built to go fast off-road, and it's well reflected in the specs. It's built for fully internal cable routing, but pop off this Allied logo here, and you have a port for cables should you choose to run them externally. It has a threaded 68 millimeter bottom bracket, and this awesome little internal storage compartment for holding a small flat kit and maybe a light rain jacket. It's just big enough to remove the excess from your jersey pockets or eliminate a saddlebag. And word has it that the addition of this little down tube storage compartment only adds about 10 to 15 grams to the weight of the frame, much less than that saddlebag that you've been lugging around, and frankly, much better looking. The hatch closes with this clever little magnetic door that keeps it securely in place. It's compatible with 1x drivetrains only. You won't find a mount for a front derailleur on the new Able. It's direct mount or UDH compatible to run your favorite drivetrains. It fits suspension forks up to 40 millimeters, and with this uniquely designed chainstay, it has clearance for up to a 50 tooth chainring with a wide crankset. And specs are great, but how does the new Able actually ride?
It almost feels like you're on a cross-country mountain bike. There's some of these chunky sections here, which is quite nice. You can corner a lot faster too, which is really nice. I think that's kind of one of the main benefits of this setup is it's so stable. You just don't have to worry about that chunky stuff at all. It's like an afterthought with these huge tires. So you get this stability without compromising too much speed. You know, one thing I really like about this bike is that unlike a lot of gravel bikes, it doesn't feel tall. Like you still feel very connected to the ground, whatever surface that might be. In that sense, it feels very racy. It's something that I like. I mean, riding the new Able is fantastic. It's such a joy to ride. Feels super confident and stable. Just about everything. Look, even though it's got this pretty long wheelbase, it still feels surprisingly sporty. And not like your fastest of fast gravel bikes that are almost a cross bike, but definitely holds its own.
Look, it's clear that with clearance for up to 29 by 2.25 inch or 700 by 57 millimeter tires, race geometry, and fully integrated cables, Allied is hoping to not just nudge gravel tech forward, but push the envelope enough to create a package that separates them from their competitors, showcasing that wider is indeed faster and that it can look dang good. But does the new Able push the envelope too far? I mean, where's that line between a gravel bike and a mountain bike? Why not just ride a hardtail? That's a common reaction when gravel bikes start to look this aggressive. I've even found myself saying it. At some point with gravel bikes, you just want to be on a mountain bike. But with the way this bike rides, I'm starting to rethink where that line actually is. If first impressions hold true, it turns out that with enough tire and the right geometry, that feeling, the one where you wish you were on a mountain bike, starts to fade into the background. Now, you can't talk about this bike without talking about where it's now manufactured. For years, Allied has focused on made here being Bentonville, Arkansas, in the United States of America. This Able is not made in Bentonville. It's now manufactured in Asia. Does that matter? I'm interested to hear your thoughts here. I love seeing bikes made here in the United States of America. I always will. But at the end of the day, how much do you care about where your bike is manufactured? Drop me a comment below and let me know. Well, on this build, I'm running a SRAM Force Axis mullet drivetrain with the 40-tooth chainring up front and the 1052 cassette in the back. And while a 1052 might sound massive for a gravel bike, you're pushing a lot of tire here. These are full 2.2s, undeniable mountain bike territory. And when you're grinding up chunky climbs, that 52 is like your best friend. It's got the Zip SL70 Explore bar in 42 centimeter, Industry 9 wheels. Now this build, as you see it here with XTR pedals and bottle cages, comes in at 19 pounds, 10 ounces, or 8.84 kilograms. The build retails for $8,400 or frame set only for $4,500 US. I've heard about Ables coming in significantly lighter, and I have a few thoughts that I'll share about how I'd build a lighter Able in part 2 of this series. If you have any specific questions, do me a favor and drop them in the comments below or send me a message on Instagram. And if you'd like to see some of my other reviews, I'll post links up above where we chat gear, tires, bikes, and a whole lot more. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.